Morning folks, how are we doing? Hope you're well. Wednesday morning. I just first of all just want to start this live feed or the podcast if you're listening on the podcast, but just saying a massive thank you for all of the happy birthdays. Completely fucking overwhelming, but thank you very much. It was very gin themed, shall we say, to see in a complete new era and chapter. So this morning I'm going to talk about priorities, and I think the reason I chose to talk about priorities and people getting it wrong when it comes to priorities is because I got it wrong for an awful lot of my 30s, and I see so many other people getting it wrong, and I'll go into it. But just a few formalities. If you're watching on video, please do drop a share. If you're listening on podcast, please do drop a review. All you've got to do is scroll down, okay, and just click in your review. Our next 7-day trial starts this Monday, so if you're interested in joining the Brotherhood, it's not just fitness. It's not just fucking fitness. It's about mindset, accountability, structure, life habits, improving your life habits. It's fitness. It's the whole fucking shebang, okay? So if you're interested in that, it's a free trial up above. We're going to do some coaching and training within it. And to make sure that, you know, it's for you. Make sure that it's something you can get something out of and something that you might want to implement and use in life. So, all right, let's get to this. So priorities. Do you know when we do a 7-day trial? So we're currently doing a 7-day trial. And basically every single day I'll put up a little bit of training. Morning, guys. I'll put up some training. And this training will be something that will benefit you. A tool that you can use, a mindset trick that will allow you to get a better mindset. Come here, let's go. To get a better mindset. Something you can implement in your life that's going to help you perform much better than what you're doing. Help you change the way that you see the world. Shift your mindset pattern, okay? All of this good stuff, as well as the trial. There's people in on the app, so they're getting their workout in. And also we have an accountability system. We have accountability buddies to go along with that, all in a group. So there's I think there's 110 guys in there at the minute. And that includes all the trial girls. So what tends to happen as we're going along, I usually just send out an inbox through Messenger on Facebook. And I'll be sending out a key piece of information or some content like I mentioned. And what you get people doing is leaving a trial. So I always just like to ask, sorry, I just wanted to check, make sure everything's all right. You've left a trial. Just want to make sure you're all right. I just don't have time for it at the minute. I just don't have time for this at the minute. And I said, that's a real shame. What's happening? Is everything all right? I'm just overwhelmed with work. I have to focus on my work. I don't have time for this. And that's a pretty strong statement. Okay, that type of statement is where millions of men are right now. And I think so many of us are consumed by the black hole of work. By everything that you think that you have to do, that you think that your almost career or life depends on completing some project, some vision, some email, some meeting. Yeah, you might be busy. But there's not going to be people much busier than I am. Like, some days I work fucking at night, through till night time. Okay, but still manage to get in. I know there's some people in the Brotherhood who work nearly 16 hours, but they still manage to get their workouts in and still managing to build structure. Paramedics, firemen, policemen, working crazy hours, having to deal with crazy shit, but yet they're still smashing it. And I think when you put things into perspective, what you're doing is simply not prioritising yourself. And prioritising yourself is the most important thing. So when it comes down to you prioritising yourself in your life, you should be number one. Morning, Mark. You should be number one priority. like without doubt, not your fucking work, not your arsehole fucking boss and his demands, but you should be number one on the list before anything else. When you wake up, you are the priority. When you go to bed, you are the priority. And what will end up happening is that you'll go through life, let's say you're a 42-year-old man, you're carrying an extra 2 stone, keep looking in the mirror, and you're fucking miserable. Absolutely miserable. You're exhausted when you walk up the stairs. You can't get your diet right because you're stressed and emotional. And you want to do something, but you don't know what to do. But the problem is you won't commit time. You won't open your eyes to structure. You won't open your eyes to time management. You won't open your eyes to productivity. All of the good stuff that you need to implement to build a strong foundation to your life. Okay, all of those things are needed. You have to get your head right. You have to change your mindset, your state of mind. You have to understand that state of mind that you're currently at is not serving you. And it's like someone's sitting on top of you. It's like you're lying on the floor and it's like a 200 kilogram weight or guy or backpack is on top of you and you can't fucking get it off. You don't see any different. You're tunnel visioned. Okay, so when you look at your next day, you probably don't even look at your next day. You're probably just trying to get through the day. You're probably just trying to cope and deal with everything that comes your way. Morning, David. And the problem is that the vision's not there. The shifts in pattern in your day won't be there because you're not prepared to put that in and change those shifts. Like all of that fitness, all the press ups, all the star jumps, all of that stuff is very, very small part of you developing as an individual, as a man, as a dad. We have to shift things like that, what I talk about. You have to shift things like your priorities, your habits, your routines, your structure. This is why so many dads are not in a good place. Not because they're not doing press-ups and exercise. That probably is the cause. But the reason you're not doing press-ups and star jumps and kettlebell swings and fucking deadlifts and squats and whatever is because you're not making the time for it. It's because it's not a priority. It's because you don't value yourself enough right now. That's a fucking strong statement. You might not, you don't value yourself enough. You might say, fuck off, prick. But do you know what? You don't. Have a look in the mirror. That tells you just about how much you value yourself. And that is a strong statement. But it's true. You know, and I do believe that some tough love and strong words are fucking needed sometimes, guys, to really understand that actually you've got it wrong, that you're getting it wrong. I did a talk almost 10 days ago now at the Now What seminar. And it was all about priorities. It was all about making sure you knew what was most important, which was you and family. You and family. Are you looking after your family by not looking after yourself? No, you're not. Because you're not being the best dad, you're not being the best husband. Okay, you're not planning to be around for as long as you possibly can because you're feeding your body shit. You're allowing your state of mind to control you. You're stressing out, you're being snappy. And, you know, and it's costing you guys. It's costing you all big time. Mental illness, mental well-being, stress on the body internally and externally, emotional consumption of food, emotional consumption of alcohol. All of these things are a direct response because you send me a message and say, I don't have time for this right now. I don't have time for this right now. You fucking got to make time. If you don't give a shit, then good. Listen, that's up to you. Fucking don't. I wouldn't even listen to anymore. But you have to. I've got 105 guys I'm currently looking after in that brotherhood. Every single one of them are fighting for their structure, for their foundations, for their principles, for the reason that they want to be fitter, how to fit in fitter, accountability. They're putting themselves first. So they're investing a very small fee for me to coach them. You know, it's like £10 a week. You know, it's cheap as fucking chips when you think about all of the shit that you end up spending. But they're putting themselves first. They're putting themselves as a priority. They're investing in themselves. How much do you invest in yourself? How much do you invest in yourself? Or how much would you spend on your summer holiday? I know how much my summer holidays has fucking cost me. Fuck. But I think that's... But I think that's really important that we go away and have that family time. It's important. But how much are you paying for Sky? How much are you paying for your nice car? How much are you spending on clothes? How much was your watch? How much was the materialistic shit that's all around you? But you can't invest in yourself. I'm not saying fucking with me, but with anyone. With anyone. Can you invest in a gym membership, a PT? Can you invest in healthy food? Can you invest in counselling if you need it? Come here. You know, can you invest in something like the Brotherhood? Can you invest in something like yourself? Whatever it might be. And that's showing a priority to yourself. That's showing a priority to yourself. If you did a spreadsheet and you broke it down into 4 areas, what you are paying money out for, you'd be quite surprised. And you go through all of your outgoings and then suddenly you just tick every single one that benefits you and your health. And show me how many ticks that you have. And if you have no ticks, then you better start fucking sorting yourself out, because it's going to catch up on you. It's going to catch up on you. I work with a couple of guys who are in their 60s. Okay. And they're always telling me stories. They're telling me stories. Was talking about when I obviously turned 40 yesterday. And they were telling me when they turned 40 and they thought they were invincible. And they weren't doing any fitness at the time. They were, ironically, they both were very similar. They were struggling for fitness at the time, but they never really felt it would affect them, because they still felt good enough to go for walking and coping through life, and they thought everything was going to be okay. You know, and they got to 47, and they ended up sort of struggling. One got to 47, the other one got to... It's around more like 50, but they put more weight on. By the time they reached 50, they were 3-4 stone overweight. And then through the 50s, just never did anything about it. Just procrastinated, just waited, just put work first. One of them is a millionaire, and he was a very successful individual, but he neglected himself throughout his life because his priority was earning money. And he has 20 years of regret like that now, because he has grandchildren. He can barely fucking walk. He struggles with his health. He has to go to the fucking hospital for checkups. So, you know, I'm working with him on his mindset, on his mobility, on his fitness. You know, and that's just one case of where somebody's neglected themselves for 20 years. I'm 60 in 20 years. You know, at 20 years, that's a long time. You have to get yourself ready. You have to prepare your body and mind for old age, for getting older, for the demands it brings, because the quality of your life, and I say it all the time, your quality of life in 5, 10, 15, 20 years depends on what you are doing now. It depends on what you're doing now. And if you are not fucking doing anything about things right now, okay, then you're going to struggle. Then you are simply going to struggle. Think about it logically. Anything that you don't look after whittles away, right? It eventually breaks down. Look at cars. If you don't put oil in, if you don't put decent petrol in, if you don't look after it, if you don't get it serviced, it won't last, right? You want a car to last as long as possible. If you're not looking after yourself internally, okay, if you're not looking after your mindset and your state of mind, guess what? It's all going to fucking crumble. It's all going to crumble. And I just want you to put yourself first. I just want you to understand that you are the priority, okay? Not your fucking work, not the excuses that you make, not the bullshit that you come up with. Just literally, You are the priority. And if you want to know how much you prioritise yourself, do two things. Look in front of the mirror and tell me that the reflection meets your priority. Okay, and the other thing is look at your outgoings and how much do you invest in yourself a month. They are two things that are going to tell yourself and me just about how much you prioritise yourself. So go out there, think about it. As with always, the podcast and the videos are there to help you. 95% of you will do fuck all about what I've just said. And that is just statistically proven. 95% of the 2,000-3,000 people that will listen to this, as in on video combined with podcast, only 5% of you will do something about it. The rest of you will go straight back to what you've been doing. And isn't that the truth? That is mental to think, isn't it? And I used to remember, and I sort of can get this, when I was learning to run a business, I used to watch videos that would benefit me in business and I wouldn't implement. Whereas now, something I've worked on in the last sort of 12 months is trying to implement within a 7-day period. So it's like a 7-day follow-up. So I'd listen to something, some sort of technique or something to implement in my business with time management or something, and I'd set myself 7 days before I literally had to hold myself accountable and follow up on that task and make sure that I'd done it. So for you guys, do something fucking about it. Okay, put yourself first. Make sure you're the priority. Deal with life. Get yourself fitter. Get yourself stronger. I hope that's helped. Don't forget, if you are watching this, please drop a share on the video. If you're listening on the podcast, please do drop a review. Scroll down, stick a review in. It literally takes you 30 to 40 seconds. It really doesn't take long. Thank you for listening, and I'll catch you real soon.